In October 2005, Cry Wolf was released. And if you're not familiar with this movie, which a lot of people in the horror movie community are pretty familiar with this. I know a lot of people that have seen this movie. It's similar to like urban legend. It plays out like a whodunit murder mystery. The basic concept is a group of friends that create a rumor of a serial killer, a description of a serial killer, and then there's a serial killer ends up on campus, of course, ends up killing them off, and we don't know who the killer is until the end of the movie. So I recommend it. It's a pretty decent watch. It's set around Halloween week, and they actually film it at a preparatory, and this school's pretty good, and it's filmed in fall time, is the point I'm trying to make. It's actually filmed in fall with the leaves turning color. It looks beautiful. That's one of the pluses to it. Although it is kind of shot like an action movie instead of a horror movie, when it should be shot like a horror movie in those scenes, in the death scenes. It's shot like too upbeat, like a video game or something. But anyway, the cast is pretty decent. It's awesome, always awesome to look back when watching this, when watching a movie, then watching it like several years later. This is the 7th anniversary since it came out in October 2005. I remember seeing the TV spot for this. I was like, this movie's gonna be freaking awesome. And the cast includes Julian Morris from Pretty Little Liars, and also he was the killer in Sorority Row remake, as we know. But I didn't remember it until I looked him up after watching Sorority Row that he was in Cry, but that he was actually the exchange student that was in Cry Wolf. Even Bon Jovi's in this movie, and he ends up not even being the worst actor. The worst might go to Gary Cole, who plays the most minor role. He plays the father of the foreign exchange student from England, and his English accent's so horrible. And I also didn't remember this, Jared Padalecki from Friday the 13th and Supernatural, the TV show, he's also in it. Who else? Bon Jovi, and then Lindy Booth. I guess the director of this, Jared Waddle or something, he is going to be directing Kick-Ass 2. And he just rehired the main bitch who's in this movie, Lindy Booth. She's like 33 now, so she was about 25 when they filmed this in the fall of October 2004. Julian Morris, the lead, he was about 21. I thought he did a pretty decent job in Sorority Row, though. But in this movie, he was kind of terrible. They tried so hard to make the cast diverse. It was so obvious. It was like the kid with dreads, the Asian girl, the bad boy, and then the dumbass, Jared Padalecki. But that's alright, because in some slasher movies in the 80s, you know, they'd end up hiring people that look alike, and you couldn't tell the actors apart because the sound quality would be horrible, and they wouldn't do close-ups back in those days. But I kind of like the whole campus feel. I mean, obviously, like I was saying, they try to emulate urban legend, the 1998 slasher film, you could tell. And maybe even Cruel Intentions, and just the feel of maybe even the skulls. It's filmed really slick the first 40 minutes. There's not that much horror in the first 40 minutes. Even in the opening scene, the killer ends up shooting his victim, which is known as the town bitch, and or the slut, I mean. And then so then the plot revolves around Halloween week also, which is a cool element to this. And they kind of film it on the New England coast, so it's a good setting for a horror movie. Perfect time of year to watch this. I haven't seen the movie since in about 5 years. I watched it like too many times back when it came out on DVD in '06. And then I also saw it in theaters, like I'm saying. It was like a modest hit. They made it for $1 million, this guy. And it made $15 million. That's more than The Apparition could ask for. That was the movie that just came out with Ashley Greene and Julian in August 2012. Look up that. That ended up being a bomb with Tom Felton. $17 million budget. And it made $4 million. Believe it. So this was made for $1 million and it ended up making 15. I had a good experience of watching it. And like I was saying, John Bon Jovi doesn't even do that bad of a job. He plays a pretty decent role. And so then they meet up at the chapel on Halloween. And it's like a full moon on Halloween, only scripted. And they end up using flashlights on each other's dome. Like, you do not want to waste a hash hit on this scene like I did. And the ending just gets stupider every time you watch this movie. You're like, oh, no, we didn't see... Okay, let me just... Spoilers. We didn't see the red bitch Lindy Booth coming because she's the only one who had any stake, and she's the only character that had any wits when you look back on it. The freaking... All the characters were still cut out stereotypical of their race, and the only characters were wits would be the main two, and you knew it wasn't going to be John Bon Jovi. And it just ends up being like almost a rip-off of Wild Things at the end or some shit. Anyway, I'm going to still give it a C+. Like I said, it's still a decent watch. I hate the upbeat pace in it, film being like in the 90s when it does the horror scenes, like I was saying. That's the drawback. And I'm out.